Hello, today we're joined by Tim Livesey, CEO of Oriole Resources. Welcome, Tim.
Thanks very much, Megan.
You have recently released a new presentation which focuses on the comparative footprint of your projects with other mines or licenses. Why is this important for Oriole?
The key thing with footprint comparisons, we feel, is it's a good way of graphically representing to people the potential that the anomalism we've identified offers. So in the presentation, we've inserted a very typical, although we're a project generator and now our main projects are sort of grassroots level, we've put in a typical sort of project pipeline pyramid slide. And that's great to get people up to speed with where we are with the different projects, because we do have a few more advanced projects. But the footprint slides are really critical. If we take Faré for an example on the Sonala license in Senegal, the Faré prospect is one of 5 prospects where we have gold anomalism within the Sonala license. And it's actually got quite a significant footprint. It's a little bit over 6 kilometers long. And we have 3 main areas of anomalism, which have now all started to be drilled or been drilled by either us previously or more recently by IAMGOLD. And to try to explain what we believe is the potential here to our investors and potential new investors, new shareholders, we looked at similar comparative footprints of similar deposits, orogenic gold, ideally in the local area. And we have a great example at Faré, just to the east of us. We have Barrick's Loulo and Gounkoto assets just across the border in Mali. And if you do a like-for-like comparison of the anomalism footprint from our Faré targets to their complex, you'll see straight away that if the drilling that we have done continues to give us the kind of results we've been getting, and we've been getting some good results, multiple meters, tens of meters above 2 grams. I think our longest decent high-grade hit was just under 60 meters at 2.2. We've had higher grade, narrower hits, 20 meters at over 31 grams. So if those if the drilling continues to be successful and give us those kind of grades, then we have the potential within those footprints to build up the volumes, the kind of volumes and the kind of grades that could lead Faré to becoming a million ounce or a multi-million ounce deposit. We've always said that Faré is a potential standalone. If you look at the combined endowment of Loulo and Gounkoto, you're looking at somewhere in the region of 15 to 20 million ounces all up, in a very similar footprint to what we have at Faré. So I don't think we're being too unrealistic in suggesting that there is potential because of the anomalism we've identified for more than our maiden resource, which is a couple 100,000 ounce sort of resource. I think the message to the investors is this is the potential, watch this space. And let's face it, we are at the front end of exploration. We're about de-risking early stage projects. And that model, we have to highlight and flag what is the opportunity. And then it's up to people to make their position known on whether they have faith in us to do the work. And then secondly, obviously in the project to carry forward and deliver on what we hope it can deliver. So that's kind of one example from Faré. Now we've put in a couple of other examples from our Cameroonian assets, and this is where we are busy active. We're actively drilling. We've got a diamond drill rig at Bibemi at the moment. We've done 2 phases of drilling there already. We've had some gold intersections proving orogenic gold, proving the system exists, and now we're about trying to take that prospect level drilling down into more targeted drilling. And again, if you look at comparisons, like for like comparisons for footprints for projects like Loulo Gounkoto, Chirano, possibly a good example. The Chirano deposit, which, around about 4 to 5 million ounces. And Chirano itself was made up of multiple small pits along a trend, which is exactly what we've got at Bibemi and Wapuzi. So again, we're not saying that we have that yet, but we're saying that we have the potential, and we certainly have the opportunity to, if the drill results continue to be positive, we have the potential to fit that scale of deposit within the footprint that we've already identified. Now, the central license package is a little bit different. We are very, very early stage on the central licenses. We've only carried out up to now stream sediment sampling on the 5 easternmost licenses, and we're on the ground at the moment. The teams are in place at the moment, following up on some orientation soil sampling programs. But again, if you look at the central licenses package here, we're not comparing to one small specific deposit. We're comparing the scale of the central licenses against similar gold camps or gold districts. And again, the comparison we put in there in this case is the Sabodala-Massawa area, multi-million ounce area of endowment, which has a similar geology, structure, alteration, etc., a similar footprint to what we have from our initial stream sediment sampling programs out in those eastern licenses. So the whole the reason for updating the presentation with these footprint comparisons is to do exactly that, is to put in place and to set in people's minds the scale of the opportunity. We all, as geologists, we all put a map together, we put a north arrow on it, we put a scale bar on it. And as one geologist to another, one of the first things you look at is the scale bar. But perhaps for some of our investors, that's not the primary thing. That's not the key thing. They see the imagery. Perhaps they're not really getting a good understanding of the potential that the scale of these anomalies gives. So that's why we've been trying to expand a little bit on that and just really give a bit of clarity so people can compare real world examples of existing mines, existing resources with what we could potentially have on some of our targets, both in Senegal and down in Cameroon.
Great, thanks for that, Tim. That was a really, really good overview. With that in mind, what news flow can investors expect over the next few months?
Quite a bit. I mean, we are active. We are active, and obviously our partners are active. So we've got on our. If I start with the more advanced end of the pipeline of the project pyramid, we have royalty assets in Turkey. We have some investments, more advanced investments in Egypt and Djibouti. Those are all active at the moment. Some of our royalty projects they're at EIA stage. In Djibouti and Egypt, both project programs have been drilling. So results coming out from those, which although we are no longer considering Djibouti to be significant from a reporting point of view, we've dropped our shareholdings dropped below 10%. In Egypt, we're still above over 20% in Egypt. So it's obviously anything that's additional or accretional to the existing JORC resource on that license could be of interest to the investors. Coming across to Sonala, where perhaps a bit more advanced, we put out the maiden resource earlier this year. With IAMGOLD now deciding to move the balance of the drilling that was put aside for Medina Bafe back up to Fare, to put in lines of drilling on each of the 3 prospect areas at Fare Far South, Fare South, and Fare North. We should be getting results out from those, obviously, through, I would expect, realistically, through Q1 next year. So that'll be quite interesting. And of course, we're coming to the end of IAMGOLD's 4th year commitment, which is the end of their first option. So they have a decision to make whether to continue investing. If they do continue to invest, they've got to commit another 4 million to be spent over 2 years. So we should see a significant increase in the amount of work being done on the license if they decide to commit to that. Down in Cameroon, we are busy in Bibemi. We've got assay results pending for the second phase of drilling that's been completed. And we've also been doing some additional work at Wapuzi, which was always sort of one step behind Bibemi in its progress. So Wapuzi, we're trying to work up some drill targets. So we've been doing some additional soil sampling and some trenching up there. The idea obviously being that at Bibemi, we have over 8 kilometers of strike length of anomaly. We have about 13 kilometers of anomaly at Wapuzi. So plenty of space there again. So it's time to start thinking about drill targeting. And we obviously have a rig at Bibemi we can use. The Wapuzi license is only 20 kilometers away. So really easy to mobilize up there and do some drilling. The central license is potentially going to be, let me rephrase that. The central licenses has the potential to be the biggest game changer. We have sampled the 5 easternmost licenses so far with stream sediments. We've identified some significant trends of gold. Over 35 kilometers of strike length along the Choliri-Banyo shear zone, and the Benui shear zone just splaying off that. And importantly, some extensional features that are cross-cutting those in a perpendicular manner. We've seen anomalism in those stream sediment basins. So the soil sampling programs that are going in now, initially the orientation sampling, and then a more widespread targeting of those basins, that should be giving us some interesting feedback as well. And that will really start to cement in our minds and in our investors' minds the value proposition that central licenses bring. This has got enough scale to have several multi-million ounce deposits. If you take the footprint from on the website and you overlay it, it's from the KK Inlier in Senegal, but orogenic gold, similar sort of systems. You can see with our distribution of stream sediment sampling, we've already got indications that we've got multiple targets that could be multiple systems. So those easternmost licenses will give us some good news flow, I'm sure. The three western licenses in the central license package, access has been a little bit more challenging there. On the east, we have the main north-south Cameroonian highway right through the license package, so it's really easy. You drive up a tar road and pull off to the side, and you're immediately in the field, whereas in the west, it's a bit more remote and more difficult to get to. So we're still in the process of putting in the stream sediment sampling teams into that western block. So that'll be a bit more delayed. But so several sets of news, drilling from Bibemi, targeting from Wapuzi, early work from central licenses, and of course the Sonala results to come out from this new phase of drilling that IAMGOL's pulling in. So quite a lot going on. Obviously in the background, all sorts of legacy stuff, and we're continuing to review projects, and people keep bringing stuff to us, and we see things that are of interest. So we're keeping churning in the background, but that's the case, I'm sure, for all juniors. You need to keep an eye on everything else that's going on, as well as your day-to-day stuff, to try to identify those opportunities for value add. And we've been pretty good at that so far. We hope to continue to do that.
Great, thank you, Tim. As you said, quite a lot going on, so we're looking forward to you keeping us up to date.
Thanks very much, Megan.